Hold on. I'm gonna go back out. All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to episode 5 of Let's Talk Battlefield podcast. I'm your host, Echo Limits. As always, with me today I have Izzy.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Izzy. You can always find me on youtube.com/IzzyGoneCrazy.
We got Mambo.
Mambo B on Twitch TV.
And we got Flakfire.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Flakfire on YouTube.
All right, awesome. So I don't know, we just went offline or something was weird, but all right, we're recording. Can some of you guys double check that we're online? Something's a little weird on my end.
Not
Offline.
Yeah, the whole chat is saying hit
we're
refresh.
now.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
We're good, guys. Episode 5. All right. So quickly, before I jump into all the topics we have prepared for you guys today, I want to say thank you all for watching and tuning in each week that we do this podcast together. First of all, if you haven't already checked out the website is called the Let's Talk Podcast.com. You can check out the new episodes as soon as they get on live on iTunes, and you can also check out our channels, our venues, where we come from, and a little bit about all of us. So the topics of today that we're going to discuss in the first hour are thoughts on Bayonet Charging. That's going to be our first topic. The next topic is going to be, what do you think of weapon balance as it is presently in the game? It's the second topic. The third topic is, what does Battlefield do better than other FPS games? And the final topic of the podcast is going to be, how can DICE improve map design? As always, at the end of the podcast, you can stick around for the chat session, or kind of like a opportunity for you who's watching live, and give us questions, whatever you feel like is important. We have the brand new DLC coming out this week. As of recording, the DLC is not out. It's going to be out in just 2 days for premium users, and I don't know, 2 weeks later after that. I think it's a 2-week thing, right, guys?
Yes, March 28th.
Yeah, so March 14th premium, March 28th is for everyone else. So the next time we'll record, we'll have a lot to talk about for that DLC, I imagine. Okay, so we are live, we're recording. Let's go straight into the first topic. Flak, you your topic is thoughts on Bayonet Charging, so take it away.
Yeah, well, you guys know I've been bayonet charging a lot lately. It's one of my favorite things to do in Battlefield. And I found that a lot of people, either they really love it or they really hate it. You know, it's something that some people say, oh, this takes no skill to do. It's such a cheap thing, and this and that. And, you know, for me, I sit there and look at it and I say, well, you know, a lot of people who say that, I feel like they don't recognize that it has trade-offs. You know, after you bayonet charge, if you don't kill someone, you're pretty much a slug for the next 3 seconds. So you're unable to move, you're unable to, you know, you're pretty much a sitting duck. And you know, supposedly having the bayonet equipped on your weapon also influences stability and the ability of your weapon to recover. But for me, anything that I use always has a bayonet on it, pretty much for the most part. So I was just curious what you guys thought about that mechanic, and if you know, if there's changes you think need to happen to it, or if you like it the way it is, or just your general thoughts.
All right, well, I'll take off next. I don't like bayonet charging. I think it's a good idea, but right now it seems a little too broken to me. It seems spammable, you know? The whole people will just pre-bayonet charge around corners. I hate it. I don't like it. I think it should be in the game, but it needs to be I don't know, it needs to be tweaked so it's not quite so easy to like charge around corners. Maybe make it so you can't turn quite as easy when you're bayonet charging, or at least don't give them double health during bayonet charges, because you get extra health when you start to bayonet charge out of nowhere. Your guy just grows a juggernaut suit for the duration of the bayonet charge. And I don't know, it just gets super aggravating when I'm running towards a building and then someone just comes around the other side and stabs me in the neck before I can do anything. and you're locked into that death animation.
I think it's one of those things. I love it, and I've had actually a couple instances where I bayonet charged around a corner and met someone else bayonet charging around the corner, and you meet in the middle, and it's just like, who did it first? You don't know until one of you dies, and then you're like, oh, I guess that person did it after me.
Well, at least they didn't do like a rock paper scissors thing, like, or randomly. Like, who
Yeah.
knows who's gonna get the kill? It's predetermined. I like that predetermined part about it.
I tried to bayonet charge a tank one time. I lost.
Well, you know,
It was like a
Really?
it was like a blooper for the day, you know. Womp 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 womp.
What were you expecting to happen?
dude,
Just
it's
out of
I thought
Battlefield.
the guy was gonna jump out of the tank. Like I was trying to time him jumping out of the tank, and he didn't jump out. So gink, I hit
know-
the front of the tank, and I'm dead.
Didn't you guys ever see that video where someone can syringe someone inside a tank?
You can defib in the tank in Battlefield 4.
That's why the syringe
Yeah.
thing works. I don't know if they
Yeah.
patched it or not, but it was in the beta.
They patched it, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would be doing that all the time.
All right, cool. Well, see, so I kind of like, I'm glad you brought up that topic, Flag, because I prepared a whole mess of things. I think what's interesting is it sucks to be on the receiving end of a bayonet charge, but it is, I do like it for its authenticity. It adds authenticity to the game. That's been my thing. I do, however, want to like, maybe if we can have a good discussion about like, how can we change bayonet charging? Because sometimes I'm like running and I think I'm running fast enough, but I'm not. I press the melee button and instead of bayonet charging, my guy just kind of goes like this and I'm like stuck in the
Yeah.
middle. You know, I wish there was
Yeah.
like a audio cue, like maybe a little grunt, like he's running, and he goes, huh. And then you know, kind of like, okay, past this much running, I can now press the melee button and I will get a bayonet charge.
Yeah, I will say things that could be done a little bit differently with it. Like, I love it the way it is. At the same point, I totally get what Izzy's saying, where he's like, oh, it's a little bit cheap. I think the bayonet charging range is a little bit too long, you know, because you're able to run for like a long time. You know, and it's something that's useful not only for trying to bayonet people, but to get away from bad situations in which you don't want to be. But you know, if I were to change something with it, I would say, you know, it could be a little bit shorter. At the same point, I'm not complaining with how it is right now, but you know, and I do want to take a second to actually kind of praise the devs for putting it in the game to start with. You know, like people will gripe about it, you know,
The
say, oh, it's,
authenticity of it, I think it's
Yeah.
good.
and it's actually a mechanic that we haven't seen before in the franchise, I believe. We haven't seen anything like that, so they actually tried to innovate, you know, and I appreciate that. And at the same point, bayonet charging is something everybody can do. It's not my fault if they don't do it, you know. Like, I feel bad about it, but
You know, all right, so the other thing is like, I'm still on that topic of, for me, what sucks about bayonet charging is like, I don't know when to charge, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, you have a little bayonet icon on the bottom and it refuels if you've already used it, right? Why not take that icon as like a visual cue and tell you like, make it shine once you're running, make it like a little bit of like, you know, just so you could kind of look down on it, very subtle, but you know you can bayonet charge. That's my thing. I think the bayonet is a good addition to the game. It makes it flow like a World War I title, but I just don't, I get frustrated, not so much when I get bayoneted, and I'm just like, yeah, all right, he got me. But I get frustrated when I try to use it, and like, you know, the whole knife starts to swipe, and I'm like, why didn't I bayonet? You know, I think
You'll bayonet and it doesn't work, so you just kind of like run into the person and then kind of like walk
even
around
that.
them.
Not even that. For me, it's like I'm running and I'm thinking I could bayonet. I press
Yeah.
the melee too
yeah,
soon.
and instead of
then
doing it,
yeah,
you swipe. I've had that happen a lot too, and I think it would be nice if it gave you some kind of visual feedback to say
Maybe like a
you're
a
good to
circle
go.
around your mini map or something like.
well, the thing is they already have a little bayonet on the bottom. That was my like idea conceptually. You know, I like to try to be helpful in that aspect.
Like a
I
charge
think-
up meter.
not even charge up meter. You can just have the little bayonet thing, and when you're ready, when you're running, when you start the running progress, and you've ran fast enough, once you hit that speed, have a little glow. Just it's so subtly there. It's so tiny. Most people don't see it, but if you look out to it, you're like an advanced user. You know the things like I don't know. I mean, it's not a hard thing to put in a game.
If they were to do that, I'd like to see it some way on the aiming reticle, because like that would be even better. So you don't have to take your eyes off the screen to look at the little bayonet meter in the bottom right. If it just put a little dot even like above the aiming reticle or something, so you're like, all right, I'm good to go. I can
Might
go
make
do
people
that.
mad. More HUD clutter. I don't know.
So aiming reticle
it's just tiny. It's really tiny.
But remember when they added the support circle on the crosshair? That got me so mad. I don't know about you guys, but it was just weird.
I don't like it.
I think the thing on the bottom might be better, or like a little audio cue. Like for instance, one thing I like about Battlefield, like we'll get to that later, but when talking about audio cues, you guys know when you're shooting a sniper rifle and you get to the last bullet, and it has that different sound.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, I respect that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It's an addition to Battlefield. I don't think that's been in a game before either, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
So like little things that improve the gameplay. I don't know.
An
Those are my
audio cue might
thoughts.
work, even if it's like a change in his breathing or something. You can tell
Yeah.
he's ready.
As long as you can tell that it's there when you're looking for it, then that's perfect.
I mean, we're getting the chat's just saying no, and no. Why do you mean just no on the bayonet? It sucks when you get bayoneted. You know what the worst part about the bayoneted being is when I don't hear him screaming. You guys ever get that?
Oh, yeah.
And he just sneaks up on you out of nowhere.
Like,
That's
dude, I just got bayoneted and I didn't even hear him coming. Give me a chance to sidestep.
Sometimes it'll glitch too, where you don't even hear their footsteps, so they're completely silent, and then you just die. You just get skewered.
Yeah, we could do without that one.
Yeah, we brought that perk over
Maybe
from
they
Call
should
of
make
Duty. It's called
the footsteps
Silence
even
Footsteps.
louder, like super loud footsteps during bayonet charge, so you can turn around and shoot them. Because it's not quiet when you're sprinting. I mean, it's gonna be loud.
You guys didn't unlock that perk yet?
I mean,
No, I don't have
but
that
that's an
silence.
interesting idea. Like, heighten the loudness of the footsteps. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I mean, I like the yell because it tells you that he's coming. So you can swing around or look whatever direction and just sidestep him. But yeah, if you don't hear him, that's a problem, and I don't know if that's an issue with the game or something like that. But
do you think it's lag related? Maybe.
It might be.
it might be. On the topic of bayonets, though, and this isn't confirmed, but I want to talk about it because it's related, and I'm actually really excited about it. So we saw, the kind of concept art for In the Name of the Tsar, and they have a cavalry soldier with a lance, and it's like, can you imagine? I don't know how they're going to do it, but can you imagine bayonet charging on a horse?
That's gonna be awesome.
Dude, we have the
Dude,
chat.
That would be
The
amazing.
multi kills just.
Dude, I want some
just
cavalry
line 'em
versus
up.
cavalry.
Line them up like a kebab on the end
Get
of
a
that thing.
quad feed with the lance.
Medieval times over here, just like
Or you could
jousting.
joust. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Come on,
fun.
joust. Let's all joust.
Can we get a new joust mode?
Horse
Well, that'd be nice.
supremacy.
Horse.
Yeah.
No. You know what? The
Cavalry
chat,
superiority.
we have Juki in the chat saying tanks should be able to bayonet too. I know he's joking, but you know what? I thought about something once before when the tanks like I don't like that the tanks move so quickly. I think we've talked about like we want to most of us kind of felt like we should slow down the tanks to more of what they were like. But I hate the instant repair feature. And I talked to Izzy the other day about this, and we're just like, why do they get the instant repair absolutely like that? They already have so much. What they should have instead of done is an instant quick mode. Like, oh, get a little speed, put a little overdrive in it.
Like turbo boost on a tank?
Yeah, just like a bayonet charge, but that's it. And then, you're slowly moving again. But the tank should be much slower. I don't know. Bayonet charge on a tank. All right, it was an idea from the chat.
All right.
I don't know. I
Please
think that
don't.
might get a little annoying. You're running away, and then here comes a tank speed boost mode right into your
Well,
back.
you know, the speed boost in World War One is probably going like 2 more miles per hour. All right.
But I don't know. I'm just waiting for them to add in like throwing knives or spears instead of bayonet charge. Switch it out in that slot instead.
Oh
Just-
God.
Throw your knife.
I don't know. You know, from remember we were looking at that other thing, the flag that you brought it up, that they were really revealing the I guess graphics for the last thing, you know, and then it just seems like I don't know if they would do a throwing knife, you know, like they seem to be picking one thing and saying like, oh, this is from Russia. I'm like, the Russians throw knives?
Yeah.
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 Sure.
All right.
All right. I like the bayonet charge though, man. I really like it. I like the idea of bayonet charging when you know you're suppressed or you're held down tactically, and you got to kind of figure out, okay, they're going to be coming here, and it's me against this guy, and that's how I'm going to get out of this situation. So then you bayonet charge, take them out, and then you can get out of that situation. Like it always seems like it's a 1v1, and a guy's got you suppressed. I love that about bayonet. Like, wait a minute, he's going to come here. I'm out of ammo. He's got me held down. Boom, I kill him, take his gun, and I go on the fight. Like I like that about the bayonet. It gives it a little bit of variety. It lets you steal his weapon after you put him down and keep fighting.
Well, and that does bring up a good point. You know, like if you have a weapon and you run out of ammo, you know, at least you've still got the bayonet charge. You know,
Right.
if something like that happens, but it's also something. You know, everybody complains about Automatico users and Hellregal users and that kind of
Don't do
stuff.
that.
You know, when they're really really up close to you. You know, when let's say you're playing a medic, so you're using a semi-automatic rifle, or if you're a sniper and you have a bolt action rifle, well, you've got no way to compete with that at close range, really, aside from your sidearm or to go for the bayonet charge. So, you know, I like that it's in there because it gives some real considerations to risk versus reward. And Nim in the chat says, what happens when two soldiers bayonet charge each other? I just saw that, and I think it's a fun thing that if someone's bayonet charging you, you can start a bayonet charge, and the person who does the bayonet charge second
Wins.
wins that bayonet charge.
So you want to be the last guy bayonet charging.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you see somebody coming at you with the bayonet charge and you have time to bayonet charge back at them, you'll win that standoff there.
I'd rather just throw my rifle like a spear at him. Like, nope.
I don't know. You know, the other thing that I thought of when you posed the topic, Flag, was I don't know if it's me, but is it what, you know, the knifing animations really get me in this game, and I think they're too long, especially because, you know, you bayonet someone, and granted, probably when you bayonet, you're probably doing it as a last ditch effort, like Mambo said, and then it'll be like, okay, this is it, and then I get one more kill and I die. But what about the speed of which, like, once you bayonet someone, you know, you get to keep playing? I don't know. I think from what I've played, I haven't measured anything or whatever. It seems like the regular melee takedowns take longer than the bayonet charge one. Or is it just me?
I think they do.
They might. I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. Some of them take forever, depending
Yeah.
on the animation.
And even when you
Yeah.
got someone like their backs turned to you and they're on the floor, forget it, like that one. You know, he has to kick him in the face. Then he has to go in then he has to kick him again. You know, because you know that's it. It just seems like long. And the bayonet charge seems like boop boop, you're done, and you can bayonet again, right? He doesn't
Not
lose his
Immediately.
Not immediately. There is like a cooldown for it. Like you don't go into the mode where you become a slug because
Yeah.
you missed your bayonet charge,
breath.
but
Oh,
there is like a delay. At least I've noticed it. There
But
is a
it's only
delay before
until-
you can do it again.
It's only like a second though. It's
Yeah.
not long enough to really notice.
see, that's
So by
one
the
of
time
those.
you're sprinting again, you can launch.
So that's one of those little things that I feel like Dice just needs to do a better job explaining them. Right? I mean, these are things that are unexplained. You know, you just toss the player in and you say, yeah, there's a bayonet charge, but they don't tell you like, okay, after you kill a guy, is it? You know, like I don't know if there should be like a tutorial or something. We once talked about that. A bayonet tutorial. Not sure.
Don't teach people how to bayonet better. No.
Yeah, like
False
a bayonet
information.
obstacle course, like a training, like you bayonet this bag
between
and you
the
go to this
cones.
bag. Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
We'll open an international school for bayoneting.
Right.
Yeah,
And
they did away with bayonets off of weapons after World War II, wasn't it? Or after Vietnam? I think so.
I think the Marine Corps still trains with bayonets.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was
I
against.
don't think it's really used in combat, but I know they still train with them.
Yeah, they still
Whoa.
train with them. There was actually like debates about, whether or not they were actually going to have mounts for them on the weapons, because a lot of the thinking was, well, do we even need them anymore? Because the weapons are, have fully automatic capabilities. Is it really worth it to put a bayonet mount on there?
Well, they still carry a
and
knife,
they still do
right?
it, Yeah.
it might not be a fixable.
Yeah, I thought it was against Geneva Conventions or something like that. They call it to take away
no.
the bayonets.
Mm-mm.
They considered it inhumane or something.
A lot of stuff from World War One.
What? So you could stab them with a knife, but you couldn't hit them with a bayonet? Like, that
Yeah,
doesn't make
because the
sense?
bayonet, I don't know, they considered it so brutal that it was
I don't think so.
outlawed in war
Well,
or something.
they outlawed the sawtooth stuff, right? You can't knife somebody
That's a
doing
little
that.
different though. Like the
Like the
gun
jagged,
hooks. Yeah,
right?
you can't do that.
And you can't
Yeah.
shoot hollow tip bullets, right? That's in the
Yeah.
Geneva Convention. You can't shoot paratroopers.
Yeah, hollow tipped rounds are outlawed everywhere for combat.
That's your next assignment, Flakfire. Give us some background knowledge on wars and
Yeah, what did
weapons
they
and-
ban? Oh, obviously they banned gas warfare, right? Chemical
Flamethrowers,
weapons.
chemical warfare.
Germany-
Did they ban
Germany-
flamethrowers?
Yeah, you can't use flamethrowers in combat or flechette rounds.
Oh,
Poison
man.
bullets.
Yeah. Germany really wanted to ban shotgun use, because when the American Expeditionary Force arrived, they brought with them, like the M97 and the Model 10A, basically.
Dude, they were sniping people across the map.
Well, I mean, basically, because it would just, the Germans looked at it, were like, I don't even know what to do with this, because, they were using, single shot Mausers, and then the Americans come over the top with with pump action shotgun shooting buckshot. They don't need to necessarily kill somebody to be effective. They just need to take them out of the battle. And Germany was apparently so upset over it that they actually tried to take legal course to get the Americans to stop, and actually threatened to say that, if we find an American soldier with this shotgun and, or even ammunition, buckshot ammunition, we will execute him, is what they said. Like, there's no record of that ever actually happening, but of course the irony is that, Germans used flamethrowers, gas, all this other stuff, and it's like, no, shotguns too much.
Hey,
They're
you put
OP.
that
Shotguns OP.
Nerf, please.
Right. They wanted to ban the glitchers. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, you know what? I know it's funny. City buds is just like having rules in war, but that's just kind of how it is. I mean, as crazy as you are, we want to say we're still civil people. Somehow society does prevail after these conflicts, and especially like World War I is one of those wars. It was just like horrifying to see what we can invent to kill one another, and they were just like, "Yo, we can't do that," because after World War I, we had so many blind people. Like, it was just like, I mean, to do that to someone, you don't kill them, and then, they can't see or hear or something. It just becomes like insane.
Yeah, because after the war, everything went back to normal, or well, semi-normal, and we all have to still live with each other. So it makes sense
Crazy.
to put some limits on what you can do to each other. It's like, we're gonna kill each other, but we're gonna do it this way.
Like,
Right.
I have no idea what that emote is, Flag. What are you doing?
I'm wrecking your clean stream with my emotes.
Oh no.
Is that a?
I think that's the perfect way to segue into the next topic that we have for you guys. Izzy decided to say, what do you think of weapon balance? Izzy, take away. This is your
All
segment.
right. So weapon balance in Battlefield 1. still a pretty heavily debated topic when it comes to the game. And I don't like the weapon balance in Battlefield 1. I think the general time to kill is way too slow compared to other games. And everyone keeps saying, nerf the Automatico and the Hellregal and the A10. But I think they just need to go and buff everything up so their time to kill matches the weapons everyone says is OP. Because even though, people complain about the Automatico, its time to kill is a little bit slower than the assault rifles from Battlefield 4. Look at the Scar H. Its time to kill is even faster than the Automatico is. But that's just me. I like a faster time to kill, and I feel like a lot of the weapons in Battlefield 1 kill so slowly that there really isn't a huge reason to use them. Like, look at a lot of the light machine guns or a lot of the medic weapons. What's the level 10 medic gun that only has 5 bullets? It's basically useless because you can only kill one person at a time, maybe 2 if you're lucky. I just feel like a lot of those guns are useless because they just don't output enough damage. And it leads people to then only use the Automatico and Hellregal because they happen to have the fast time to kill.
Yeah. When you asked me that, I was just thinking about. I went down the list of all my assault, recon, what I feel like is balanced or not. But you know what? I'm on the other end. I think this is a well balanced game. I know.
Really?
And I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I think the gunplay is varied in a nice way. I feel like they have something for everyone. And I do like the fact that we're not one thing I made sure I mentioned in my little notes when I wanted to talk about this is the one thing I don't want them to go back to is universal weapons. I think I mentioned once before that I went back and played BF4 and I was just in a situation when I saw a sniper, he was just by a car and I'm like, I got this guy, there's no way I'm gonna have some fun with him, so I'm gonna try to jump around left and right because he's just gonna be able to try to quick scope me and maybe try to pistol me, but that's never gonna happen. So I'm gonna go knife him or shoot him up close. It'd be funny. Instead, MTAR and I'm destroyed. I'm like, yes, this happens in this game.
I've seen Echo. I've seen you stream before Echo and got killed by somebody with a gun like that, and you look at the stream like.
Yeah, I'm just because I love that in Battlefield 1 I can approach. I look at him, I was like, oh, that's a support player. I can approach him knowing that this is his limitations. So it's to me, that's a good balance, knowing that there are limitations on each character.
I don't know. I liked universal weapons. I'll take the other stance. I enjoyed universal weapons because it allowed people to play their favorite classes with weapons that fit the situation. Because sometimes you might need the scout abilities of using the flare gun to spot everybody in a close quarters situation, but you don't want to run around trying to quickscope everybody in Battlefield. So you might want to use a shotgun and play aggressive recon, be in the front line, spotting everybody and leading the troops into battle because you can do that. But you don't want to do it with a sniper.
I would disagree. I remember Mambo, you were saying your favorite thing is the carbine snipers. Yo, they're viable.
Oh,
I started
it's
playing
awful.
after Mambo mentioned it. I'm like, yo, this is actually pretty fun. M95 carbine, bro, that does work.
Yeah, but you have to shoot them, so many times though. You'll always lose that close quarters engagement.
I don't know. You just can't. You shouldn't be good at everything. You know what I mean? I feel like then there's that one time one kid will be good at everything. You spot flare and then you're gonna get sort of a shotgun or an automatic weapon or some sort. It's too much, man.
But then they run out of ammo.
Was it the airplane? The airplane guys can jump out with a shorty shotgun. I was like, whoa! I got killed a few weeks ago. I was like, how did he get the shorty? I'm like, you didn't know they get a shorty shotgun? I'm like, I thought only the tank hunter class got the shorty shotgun.
Well, that's after you level 10 or something.
Yeah, you gotta unlock.
Yeah, he caught me off guard. I had one of those Echo moments when I came around the wall there. I was like, yeah, I got this guy. He jumped out of the plane. Boom! I'm like, what? How did he get a shorty shotgun?
Dipped.
The damage, I don't know. I don't think it feels very balanced to me the way it is right now.
See,
it seems like.
So I feel like certain weapons need to be buffed a bit, but my gripes are mainly with support weapons and then with a couple of the medic weapons. I really like the self-slaughter 1906. I know Level Cap made a video on it and said it was terrible. I really like the weapon. The only downside of it is you can kill one person per magazine.
Yeah.
But aside from that, that thing just it's got a real nice fire rate and everything. And I'd use it more if it had a larger magazine, or if I had the ability to, do enough damage to take 2 people down with 1 magazine. But I can put a bayonet on it, so there's that too.
Shoot your
But
5 and then bayonet.
I can kill 4 people with 1 mag of the Automatico, and you get a bayonet.
Yep.
Oh, they got to be very
I think
close.
they need to add a lot more hit
Not really. I
fire,
can kill
like,
people pretty
4
far away.
I
people
can't stand-
automatico? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Burst fire.
They got to be close range.
I can burst fire people from pretty far away. Just go for headshots. It's 4
Yeah.
bullets to the head.
Yeah, I get a few kills with the Automatico long range. I ADS. I had somebody come in and say, "Why are you ADSing with the Automatico?" I was like, "I could pop people across the across the railroad tracks on the other side of the building. I can pop them with that thing, and they're dead." Yeah,
It's just about
I've never
recoil
been
control.
lucky to do that. I don't know. I mean,
It feels
Um,
like the way it's right now, though. Fire rate ranks king. It's all about fire
Yeah.
rate, and
Yeah,
that's
it-
because
it
the
is.
TTK is so slow. So if you bumped it up, then other weapons would do better.
I wish they would bring some more damage to the 12 gauge automatic. Believe it or not, the shotgun. It's horrible.
oh,
it's-
is that the rapid firing one? That
It's
one
not
sucks.
horrible. You just have to be up close.
Dude,
You
the
got really
recoil
close.
on console is so bad on that gun.
Yeah,
You start
it is.
shooting, next thing you know, you're up in the sky. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah,
Playing with the Hogren on the CTE, that's a fun shotgun. You'll like that one, Mambo.
Oh yeah, the new
What's
one,
that?
right? The
Yeah,
new
it's
Pretty
shotgun.
good.
The new
I haven't
shotgun is
played
decent.
CT.
It
You
has
know-
almost the same range as like the A10 Hunter.
We have Broken Machine alive in the chat. He's also a YouTuber. He says the gun balance is mostly perfect and rewards good positioning rather than pure aim skill. Reducing the time to kill turns the game into a camp fest. I don't know about the second part of that kind, but that's the way kind of I feel with the first part. I feel like this game rewards positioning more than other games, where Medic, his position is medium. Support, his position is medium to long range, Assault up close, and Sniper is just long range. I mean, it just seems like that.
I'm in the boat of support has no range, like at all. He's just not good anywhere unless you're
Yo,
using the
I rock
M50,
support, man.
MG50.
I rock support.
I rock support. I
Oh,
do.
it's awful. It's just no.
Dude,
No,
I
but-
make
but-
work with the support.
I will agree with him and with you, Echo, that definitely compared to some of the other Battlefield games, and certainly out of the gate, this one was balanced really well. And in terms of actually having classes having value at different ranges, this one probably does it the best out of the other Battlefield games.
I would agree with that. Like the starting balance of the game was much better than other Battlefields. Like Battlefield 4, I like the balance now, but it took them a long time to get to where it is now. It took them a couple years. But I guess time to kill kind of depends on how you play. Personally, I
well,
like
it
that
doesn't
quick
have as
time to
many
kill.
guns as
I
other
like-
Battlefields either.
I like it
so-
relying on accuracy and how quick your reactions are. I don't know. Not everyone likes to play that way though. I just feel like the person who is more accurate with a given weapon, who can control recoil better, should win the fight. Not necessarily, whoever pulls the trigger first, which right now it's kind of like that. Like, if you have the Automatico and there's 2 people and they're looking at each other, it's going to be whoever manages to pull the trigger first, not really who can manage
But
the recoil.
are you
or-
talking about Automatico versus Automatico? Because that makes
Yeah.
sense. But
But it's going to be like that for every weapon almost that way, up close anyway.
I don't know, man. I mean, whenever I play and an assault player runs up to me and I'm close quarters, I'm hitting him with my machine gun, my aim is on point, I lose, he's got an Automatico, I literally look at the chat and I'm like, it makes sense. He killed me. He had an Automatico. This is where the assault shines. And it's been like DICE's mantra, or just their design of gameplay, that the kit that can combat tanks has notoriously always had close range weapons. So I mean, I don't mind them shining in that close range. I don't think they're as effective as you guys say, like at medium range. Like Mambo, you sniping people. I don't know how you do it. Like I'm Automatico, I can't use it past medium. Like once you start medium long range, I'm like, I give up. I just try to close the gap running or something. I feel like the balance is good, but I never thought about just taking the time to kill and raising it. That's an interesting proposition there.
I mean, I don't know. It feels like it would really be the only way to help balance it right now. Is the way I look at it, if you're using like an assault rifle, you should be able to kill the sniper halfway across the map who's camping, who has horrible aim. If you have
Yeah,
really good aim,
but
even
we
if it
don't
takes you a
have
lot.
assault rifles in this game.
Okay, fine. Whatever. If you're using the assault class, you should still be able to do that.
They're submachine
in
guns,
Battlefield
man.
1, you can't do that. I mean, if they're super far away, you're not going to kill anybody.
Bro,
And
you can lay down
other
and
way
do a
around,
rocket.
like if you're using support in close range, you're going to get dominated by assaults. Even if you have amazing aim and you're a better player, if they're using the automatico, you're probably screwed.
Ariel says he just disagrees with me and says if you have a bolt sniper, you have to have godlike aim. You should get the kill. But if you notice, this is the first time I've seen snipers. When it comes to like when I went kit by kit after you asked it, Izzy, I went kit by kit, and it seemed like the sniper is the one I have the most issues with, because now up close quick scopes are very I don't know how to say it. I guess it's just
You can't
useless.
quickscope.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can't,
I
because
hate that.
sometimes you even get 60 damage.
Yeah.
Up
I
close,
liked-
quick scope to the chest. 60.
Yeah, no, I think I really don't like what they did with snipers in this game with the sweet spot range. I liked it
Same.
more in other Battlefield games where it was like a steady drop off of damage. I think that worked a lot better because, I mean, let's face it, if you're 5 feet away from someone with a sniper rifle and you shoot them in the chest, they're going down. I mean, there's no way you're going to recover from that. I think it should totally be a one-hit kill up close to like the upper body. I know everyone would complain about quick scoping in Call of Duty, but I mean, let's be real. You have one bullet, one chance to hit somebody, and if they have a shotgun or an automatic weapon, then they have a gazillion chances to shoot you, and you have one to shoot them.
Hey,
That
but
seems balanced to me.
aim assist is in the game, and they can help you. Maybe remove aim assist from snipers,
I'd be fine with that.
because
Or anything 10 or 15 meters closer, the aim assist automatically turns off. Something like that.
that'd be interesting.
I'd be okay with that. I don't know. I just don't feel like snipers are
And
balanced.
the interesting thing is the sniper, when you talk about the sweet spot, it really sucks to be at the receiving end of that one. I don't
Yeah.
like it, because then I'm like, wow, I got cheesed. The guy really doesn't deserve this kill. He just got lucky because it's in a range. It doesn't seem like people are positioning themselves purposefully with the mindset that I'm using my sweet spot. People just go for the luck of it, And then I'm like, wow, he got the sweet spot kill. But
Yes.
I don't know, at the same side, without the sweet spot kill mechanic,
You still have headshots. That's still
but
an insta-kill.
What makes any sniper rifle different from another?
The range at which you can get a one-hit
Yeah.
kill up close, the size of the magazine, the chamber speed, your mobility, all of that can be impacted by the weapon. So there's still a lot they could do with that.
But then it would be just that one sniper rifle that's best at all. Like in Battlefield 4 was plagued by it. There's really a bunch
that's
of
not
sniper
true.
rifles, and there were like 3 that were good. There was one for up close, one for super far, and one for... No, that's it. I don't know.
I
The
think it depends
SRR
on-
was for far away, and then it was that one that rechambers really quickly
Well-
for quick scopes. That's it.
You had like the M98B for long range and the JNG90 for long range, and then for close range you like the M40A5 and the Scout Elite.
And
Right?
then it was...
Wasn't that it?
Right, but then it was like 5 other sniper rifles that were just like, meh.
Well, they were there. It's like the Scout. It only did like whatever, a super small amount of damage to the chest, but it could still get the one-shot headshot, and its bullet drop-off was significantly more than the other ones. So it could only be used in close quarters.
Yeah, but you did have a lot more weapons in Battlefield 4, so
I
that
thought it
left
was better than Battlefield 1.
But a lot of them were forgettable. That's my point. You know what?
Yeah,
I think...
so many of them were. So many of them. It's like, yeah, nobody uses these. We just, this is the one.
But I'd
Yeah.
rather have it and not use it than not have it. Because it's there if I want to change it up and use it anyway. Just for
I
the sake of
think-
doing something different.
I think I like the whole idea of them differentiating sniper rifles on another level, but I think they went too far creating the sweet spot as a one-hit kill. it should have been the sweet spot is where you get 95 damage, but you shouldn't be getting that 1 kill if you don't headshot. So the graph still, starts at maybe 70, comes up to where you're 90, where's your sweet spot when you're getting a massive damage on a body shot, and then tapers off, and depending on what. But headshot is still headshot. I just feel like the only thing I don't like about the gun balance when it comes to recon is sometimes I'm X amount of feet away and you just shoot me in my hip and I'm dead because, sweet spot 100 kill. I don't
I
like it.
kind of think like within 10 feet, it should be an insta kill up close. So if someone runs up on you, you can turn around and just pop them. They're going down.
Or maybe they need to come with 1 or 2 sniper rifles that are more close range. Like I like to run with the sniper carbine versions because they force they make you PTFO. My only argument about snipers is that they don't play the objective. I see them sitting up on a hill using glints and scopes. I'm like, dude, get off the hill and go play the freaking objective. Oh, this is the objective, holding down the enemy to prevent them from capturing the flag. Or, dude, that's not playing the objective. That's just trying to farm kills. And believe it or not, the guys that are sniping usually are in the lower part of the scoreboard.
Well, they don't ever get good scores. They get
They
like
don't
3
ever
kills
get
per
kills.
round.
They get like 5 and 10. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, this kind of
Get in the
ties
fight.
into weapon balance. How do you guys feel about when you fire your gun, you're not on the mini map?
I love it.
I hate it.
I hate it. It
I
is horrible.
hate it.
It's probably my least favorite thing they did with the game. It
But I mean, you
promotes
can't have
camping.
silencers.
They had suppressors during World War One. They were just in development.
It
They
wasn't
weren't in
robust though.
They weren't in widespread use, but they were used. And I think even if they had it on a few guns, it would be dramatically better than the way it is right now. Because, someone can sit up on a hilltop and fire, and you'll never know they're there unless you physically spot them. And we all know the spotting feature it doesn't work most of the time. And I think it adds to the camping that goes on. And everybody complains about the amount of camping in Battlefield 1, and I think that contributes to it a lot.
Yeah, I will say with it, like I always in Battlefield 4, in Hardline, anything, always had a suppressor equipped.
Yep.
Because I never wanted to be seen on the minimap. And it's like I paid for that by reduced range and damage, basically.
Exactly.
I don't have that option in Battlefield 1. And, it sounds like I'm hating on it. I will say that playing the way Battlefield 1 is designed, where you don't show up on the minimap unless you're spotted, for example, isn't necessarily not fun. It's just different. Like you got to learn to play it different, where you have to become more adept at listening to your surroundings or picking up on things like scope glints or noticing motion or using the spotting flares, for example, if you're a scout. Yeah, but I do agree that not having that mechanic in there does make it difficult. Yeah, I wish we still had it, but
Me too.
I'm totally fine with how it is now. It's just something I'm like, man,
Dude, I have so much disagreement this podcast
Really?
episode. I think it's great that they removed it because I know for a fact people were playing the mini map like it was a mini game in Battlefield. Like, you know what I mean? The triangles and all this, and then you got to the information where someone was on top or below. You knew.
Oh, I loved that. It was great. Well, it
playing
led
the
people-
mini map mini game.
Well, not really. It's leading into how good of a player are you. Can you watch the mini map and determine where they're going? It leads into map knowledge and stuff. And you would also have to play to the mini map too, where you'd be like, okay, there's 5 people in front of me. If I shoot, I'm not going to kill all of them. And then they're all going to know I'm here because I'm not using a suppressor. So should I wait for them to break up? Should I go for the knife kills so I'm not on the mini map? There was a lot of stuff you had to do to work around it.
All right,
And it led to more skill.
You see, the removal of that gives like a sniper more of a reason to exist as well. Those spotting flares. If you're a sniper and you're not running spotting flares, what are you doing? And then my thing
Give him a
is,
spawn
you're
beacon.
dead to me.
Give
yeah,
him a spawn
well,
beacon and
that was remember we talked about that too. I was just like, look, gadgets aside, there's some gadgets that are no-brainers, some gadgets that are dumb. But the spotting flare, at least sniper will have that as a thing. Like,
well, they had that in Battlefield 4. They had the tugs and the motion balls.
Right, but I mean, I feel like it gives it even more purpose since you cannot be spotted on it. Now you have an even bigger job to do. Get in there, put that flare down for your team, because now it takes their attack now has become even better because you're helping your team. I mean, like, I don't know, I like it.
Do you think you
on-
should be able to destroy the flare? It makes me
Yes.
so mad when I can't destroy it and I see
Like
it
that,
sitting there.
or if I could
Yeah.
throw a smoke grenade on top of the flare,
Yeah.
it would
what a
cause it to
decent
not work.
idea. That's
Or just,
smart.
step on it.
Yeah, but
just
no,
grind it
you know,
into the dirt.
do you want to burn yourself to death if you step on it? You
It,
crazy?
it wouldn't. No,
Hey,
you could just
it's a
quickly.
If it took
Suicide.
out that spotting flare, I would burn to death for it. I'd totally be fine
I'd
with
do
that.
it. I mean,
Like, for
yeah,
the team, and that'd be it.
just jump on it.
Yep, belly flop.
Yeah. All right. With that, guys, we're gonna transition to the next one. Hopefully, you enjoyed our discussion in depth on weapon balance. It was an awesome question to bring up. We're gonna switch on over to Mambo, and the topic for that one is what does Battlefield do better than other FPS games? Mambo.
All right. Well, some of the comments in the stream a minute ago is like, I think his name was Bro. He said Battlefield 1 is the worst Battlefield ever. You know, I like to give facts behind making statements like that. And I think Battlefield is one of the better Battlefields made. Let's look at some of the facts. Hit detection, graphical fidelity, teamwork. There's a lot of facts that go into me saying this is one of the better Battlefields. Now, one of the things that it does not as good maybe is the casual aspect of it. They could get rid of the instant repair for the tanks. They can do stuff like that to bring it more in line with the other Battlefields. Does it have better rush maps? No, than the previous Battlefields. Does it do some things that like some of the other Battlefields did better, like have more weapons and whatnot? No, but at the same time, it's got some unique stuff that none of the Battlefields have been able to pull off. So I think Battlefield, I've been playing a lot of games. I've been playing a lot of RPGs, a lot of other shooters. I mean, just this week we had Ghost Recon Wildlands drop, and the game is co-op, right? It's not PvP. So
There's a promise. Whatever
yeah,
that
and
means.
put the little carrot out in front of you. But I don't think shooting-wise that game can even compare to Battlefield as far as shooting mechanics.
Game's
you
a
know,
potato.
the gunplay is not tight. So there's things that I think Battlefield 1 does better than a lot of other games, and nobody really mentions that. So this is why I kind of held off on buying Wildlands, is because I know I'm going to be playing some Battlefield DLC Tuesday, right?
Let's
So I'm
go.
like, I don't want to put down Wildlands and then come back 3 weeks to a month later and say, oh yeah, I got this game that I bought a month ago that's now $30 on sale because I've been playing Battlefield. So
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about it in chat, but I think Battlefield does a lot of things right that a lot of other games are not doing. What's your feeling on that?
I like your topic, Mambo, because when we do this podcast, I think it's easy to focus on the things we don't like and to talk about the things that frustrate us, because those are the things we tend to notice more than all the things that we do like.
Right.
Battlefield 1 does some stuff really well. Like, I love the knifing mechanics. Works so much better than Battlefield Force. I like the counter knifing in that game and how you would try to knife people and it just wouldn't work. So I really like the knifing. I think it's smooth. It works as intended. That's something they absolutely nailed. I like that a lot.
You know, and then I also really got excited when you said that topic, because there's a lot of good things that this game's done that like the competition's not doing. And we briefly talked about this before we went live, Mambo, and you know, dedicated servers. Holy moly.
Don't get me in
2017.
Rainbow Six on getting ghosted through around a corner because they don't have dedicated servers. Fundamental dedicated servers, number one. Hello, come on,
And-
Ubisoft.
Right, you got games that are creating like smaller player counts, and you know, you just got other games that are just also with bigger player counts. It's just that nobody's doing what DICE and EA are doing with the dedicated servers. Now, even purchasing servers, like right now, off the bat, like when they started out, yes, it was lacking features, but they will add them hopefully soon, better soon than later, right? But for the most part, the fact that we log on, we play this game, and I play this game quite often, I have a good experience. when it comes to that. I don't get netcoded so much. Battlefield 1 has great netcode at launch. Um, Dedicated servers. One of the big things that I wanted to mention when you posed this topic. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. What about destruction? There's not too many games out there that have destruction in the game. I mean, that's been a staple of Battlefield, right? You go into a room and you're in a freaking wooden
Unless it's
shack
hardline.
trying to snipe, you can get your shack blown up. You don't get that in other games. And look at
Someone's
look
gonna
at
quote you. Get
yeah,
your
look
shag
at
blown up.
Destiny or Overwatch. They're just hiding behind something, and you can never take them out because they're hiding over there. I mean, you don't get it so much in Overwatch as you do in, say,
No,
other games because it's an
even
arena
then,
shooter.
but even then, it's like I get what you're saying, because it's like they'll be like behind something that's sort of destructible when you think about real life mechanics, and then it won't be. And the one thing I like is I love operations, and the fact that like you fight one operation and you get halted, and you're like, darn, the other team's doing great, but then you come back and you get the behemoth, and you come back and the destruction persists through the round. So now, instead of like you see the whole church or whatever, Monte Grappa, or like the town and all that other stuff that's in there, the second time you're attacking, it's like devastated. The place is destroyed. You feel like there was a war being fought here, and it adds to authenticity. I agree. That was one of the things I even wrote down. Destruction was like my number 2.
Yeah, netcode, destruction. I think that DICE has learned a lot from working on Star Wars as far as photorealism. They really upped the level of photorealism. I play other games and they kind of look cartoony. Like I look at, and I love Uncharted. I love the Uncharted series, the Last of Us series, but it's still got that cartoon graphic drawn. Like the graphic artists were at work, and then the netcode artists were at work, and they didn't work together. But in the photorealism, Battlefield does that better than a lot of games. I don't know if they brought that over
It
from
does
the
look
Star
very good.
Wars.
Oh yeah.
It does.
The
It is a very
photorealism is
pretty game.
ridiculous. Yeah.
The
But does
Battlefield
that
has
make a
always
game
taken
better?
it to
No,
like the
no,
next
but
level with graphics. They've always tried to push the boundaries of what they can do with video games. Like
Right.
even going back to, the first Battlefields, they always tried to be like, the best looking game on the market.
Yeah,
Uh,
look at Call of Duty. That those people have not updated the graphics in
no,
God knows
ever
how long.
and ever. They're still using the same engine.
right, that
Yeah.
Tech 2 engine with zero freaking wall textures. Oh, it's a flat wall, so let's just put a painting on the wall. It's no texture to walls. It's horrible. You
I
know,
mean,
Yeah.
just look at the upgrade in graphics between Hardline and 1 is massive. So I'm
Dude.
interested to see what they'll do with the next Battlefield. It should look even better, right? I mean, they keep
Right.
making these huge advances in graphics.
Have
Right.
I'm going to say the thing that Battlefield does better. I haven't had a chance to weigh in on anything yet. But it does make me think of it, the new DLC that's coming out, and that is like the creativity that went into the setting in terms of picking World War One and picking specific battles. And I was a little perturbed that they picked France for the DLC, because I felt like, oh, if you're going to make a World War One game, France should be in the main part of the game.
I would
But
agree.
having seen some of the maps on the CTE, like I haven't been this excited for a game in a long time, and it's due in large part to their creativity to pick certain places or certain battles. And yeah, it's all historically related, but gosh, that just draws me in so more than other games do. Like let's say Rainbow Six Siege. It's an interesting game, but I just don't engage with it as much as I do with Battlefield 1. And certainly things like Call of Duty, for example, for like the last 3 iterations are in space, and that setting's just not interesting to me. So I think they did a great job by picking World War One, and then picking some really neat locations to place the game. I thought that was great. So sorry, I went like another direction with that, but I think that's what they do better than anyone else.
Yeah. As somebody mentioned in the chat a minute ago about they need to do something to get your heart rate going a little bit more like Rainbow Six. But I think that's game mode, because In Rainbow Six, you're the one left fighting other people, so it's you against those odds. So that kind of gets your heart rate going. Could Battlefield come out with
Yes,
a
they need
search and
to.
destroy kind of game, or yeah, they
It's
could, but
is
it's a
it
different
gonna
game.
be good? I doubt it. The only
I
time I
liked
feel like
Defuse,
uh,
and I liked Squad Obliteration a lot.
I would rather play Squad Obliteration than Defuse. But, for the most part, the heart racing moments are just the close games. In Battlefield, like, oh, we're on the last objective and we only have 10 tickets left. That's heart racing. Are you going to get that every round? No. In Rainbow Six, you're going to get that more often. In Counter-Strike, you're going to get that more often because there'll be more opportunities for you to be the last man standing. Or Call of Duty if you're playing Search and Destroy in there.
Well, when you actually get in a game in Rainbow Six after 30 minutes sitting into a menu.
They have their own issues. But you know what? The other thing I kind of wrote down to talk about like what's good with Battlefield is speaking as a live streamer, I really enjoy the fact that I can play with so many people across the world.
This is true.
And it's so simple to get queued up into a game. The server's already going. You punch in a couple of numbers if you really want to join in. If you're on my friends list, you just pop in, pop out. There isn't a big penalty in one guy leaving. I'm playing Operation 64 man, and one of my squad mates was pushing with me, and boom, he leaves. So I have 30 other players that I can still rely on. I can continue to have fun, and like DICE will, I don't know what they do, but in like 2 minutes, there's another player already taking his spot. You know what I'm saying? So it's fluid, it's constant, there's no interruption. Versus like when you play a small player count game like Counter-Strike.
It crashes the game.
Or For Honor, I've heard some terrible things. One person leaves, that could mean your whole round went sour. Not to mention if you start playing ranked modes in these Counter-Strike or Rainbow Six style games, one person leaving, it's like, I played the Rainbow Six on Saturday, and I went from 2-0 game to losing 4-5 because we were man down. And that didn't feel great because I played 45, 50 minutes, and I was just like, wow, that sucks. I needed that guy, And then you're stuck wondering what could have been. But in Battlefield, I like that fact that anyone can join. I don't think anybody else does it like Battlefield, where massively multiplayer across the whole world brings people together. It's awesome.
I do like how they don't restrict regions, but I would like that to be an option. If you rent a server, you could restrict the region so only people from your country could join. Because it was always a big problem in Battlefield 4. You'd rent a server and then out of region players would come in and you'd have lots of lag issues. So while I really like how you can play with people from other countries, it'd be nice if you could play in servers that are also dedicated just for your own region.
Or ping levels. Like your ping can't be 300. You can't be turning on a freaking lag switch even though you're across the neighborhood.
So put all the people with bad ping in one server by themselves.
Yeah, go ahead, fight it out. You guys got sucky ass ping? Go ahead, play each other.
No, you know what? I mean, that's hard to say, why someone's ping is bad or, how to figure all that out. I think they do a good job in making sure that even if someone with bad ping enters the round, the dedicated server, he or she is the one who's getting the more of a bad experience rather than you. And so that kind of makes them leave. They're like, oh, wow, this server's lagging or bad. And they'll try to find another server, Or they can just quick join and they'll try to place them in a server that's best for them. But overall, I think their servers, that's some good stuff,
Okay. Well, that's what I think what Battlefield does better, guys. So, good stuff.
Awesome. I think we can move on to the next topic and a final topic for our discussion. It's raised by me. And I wanted to ask you guys, how can DICE improve map design? The reason I asked this is because I always reflect on my favorite Battlefield title, and it was Battlefield Bad Company 1. For those of you guys who play on PC, you missed out on a gem. It was such a great game for many reasons. But when I talk about the online aspect of it, what I seriously enjoyed coming from Battlefield 2 as a conquest-only player I didn't even want to. I was like, what is this Gold Rush? I don't want to play this. I don't want to pick up this game. My best friend picked it up. He's like, you gotta play this. Let's go. I grabbed the 360 and I just never looked back. It was one game mode, Battlefield. One game mode, Rush. Maps were designed for it. And my question, my food for thought here is, do you guys think, and you guys watching as well, do you guys think that DICE and EA can put out a Battlefield with very limited game modes so they can focus on creating better map design, or what would that entail?
Well, I don't think they should have limited game modes. I just think they should design maps around specific game modes instead of trying to cram all of them onto one map. Because when you left like the Bad Company era of designing maps around game modes, the map started to suffer because moving into 3, they wanted to put, every game mode on one map. And
That's why
not
3 is my
every game
least
mode
favorite.
works on one map. It doesn't always work right.
But
So I liked it when maps were designed around game modes because you want rush maps to be linear and you want conquest to be wide, and they don't always go together so well.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons I asked this question is because, it'll cost too much money, right?
I don't know about that.
I imagine.
Hmm,
You think they could do it?
I think they could do it.
How about you guys?
See, for me, the maps in Battlefield 1 right now are actually like really, really decent, and I think it's real interesting if you guys have been on the CTE, if you play on PC at all. They've got the new revamped version of Suez on there. So it's interesting to see like map design is very, very important to the developers, and they're trying to improve it. If they have a map where people don't like it, they're going to try and fix it or try to make it so it's a better experience. And I don't know if they're really doing that with Suez, but in terms of their design, what could they do better? I do kind of agree with what you're saying in terms of they should design the maps around the modes. At the same point, though, I think one of the coolest aspects of the map design in Battlefield 1 is that you play on different parts of the maps in different game modes. So like in Operations, for example, everybody loves the first section of, I think it's the Iron Walls operation, or no, Kaiserschlacht, where it's on St. Quentin Scar. And you get to assault through the trenches and that kind of stuff. It is so much fun. But you don't really get to play in that area when you're on Conquest, for example. So I do kind of like that. And the same thing can be said for Giant Shadow, where Giant Shadow in Conquest, it plays totally different from when you play it in Domination. And it's a fantastic Domination map.
Because they use that like one area for like a town they built up just because that was the purpose of that town.
Yeah, and I mean, do you lose some stuff in other modes? Yeah, but at the same point, it represents more variety to me. I don't know if that's a fair way to put it because it's very optimistic, but I look at it, I'm like, I think this is cool that, a map that I played 100 times, I just go into a different game mode and it feels like a different map. Like it's a whole bunch of different new challenges, and I enjoy that.
Okay.
How about you, Mambo?
I'm gonna go off what Flakfire is saying, but I'm gonna take it one step deeper. Echo, you say, oh, you just shoot from the hip when we started the podcast on your ideas. All right, I'll take what Echo's saying. I'll take what Flakfire's saying, and I'm gonna combine it. How about this? CTE's got a different version of Suez, right? How about, just like the weapons, they create varieties of the maps, and throughout a year, they drop a different variation of the map in Conquest, a different variation of the map in Operations. And then after like 6 months, they take a community vote on which one is going to be next. Like, okay, we had 4 variations, A, B, C, or D. Community, which one do you want to be put back on Suez? I want variation B. Okay, the community votes on the freaking Battlefield website. This is a variation we want. We like that because they designed it more for Rush. Look at Devaman Peak, Battlefield 3. You can't compare the Rush of Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4. It was so much better for Rush. let's design the maps for a specific game type.
will-
Okay, like Izzy's saying, design it for a different game, like a specific game type. Okay, let's do 4 variations of the map and then let the community choose.
All right, you know what? You brought up something that I've once thought about and talked about, and it's perfect. The fact that if you keep these game modes the same, they may get stale. And I've played a lot of Rush, and I'll disagree with you on that one. I think BF3 Rush was garbage.
Oh,
But
I loved it.
no,
I
no,
loved
no,
it.
no. I got thousands of hours played. I'm just gonna disagree. But
So do I.
I do like what Mambo's saying, because I thought about this. How do you make Rush better? Like, for instance, they could change the locations of MCOMs. They've done it before to improve Battlefield 4's Rush. They've changed the location of MCOMs, and they've added different things that they can put in, so you can hide behind and stuff like that. But what is more interesting to me is, what if, you did something like what Mambo is. I like that idea. Like, change it up. Hey, new spring update is gonna take operation, instead of going up, we're gonna go down. I don't know. Who knows if it's gonna play better and be better? And ultimately, having a vote at the end, talk about which one you like, gives them better feedback, maybe. And maybe it's only a CTE thing that they might get feedback. Maybe not the main game, but it would keep things fresh and interesting. And I like that idea. I will, however, say is, you got to be careful with the whole vote thing, letting the internet vote. You guys know. So you gotta tie
Bodie
it to something
McBoatface.
that
Yes, Bodie McBoatface.
yeah, they didn't even name it that. I'm mad about that. I voted. Listen. So my thing is, maybe tie it to premium. Make it, you have to.
There you go. Premium members can vote.
But it's hard to say that, because now that it costs something, it has some legitimacy. But at the same time, if it costs something, now in order to be heard, you'll have to pay. So it's like, I don't know
It's
how.
like Sub Saturday, right? You want to play? There you
I
go.
guess
You got privileges. Membership has its privileges.
It's true. Or maybe tie it to a phone number, or tie it to something. I know CSGO did that. They tied things to a phone number so people don't make whole mess of things. But then you got Google Voice. I don't know. I don't have the solution to that. But you just gotta be careful with the internet, man. I'm looking at you. You guys watching in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right, so the other thing is, I also kind of made sure I made some other ideas about not just the map design. I think what's interesting is the community map project. You guys remember that?
I loved
Yeah.
that. I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was a great playing map. I really did. And I want to ask you three right here, what are your thoughts on the community map project? Because maybe we need it again.
Operation Locker 2.0. Let's go.
So,
Let the community design it.
Let the
Wait,
I'd
community
say a
go.
French metro, but with more flank routes.
Yes, Metro 1918. I want to do
with
that.
more flank routes. Give us 4 different paths to go around so we don't get spawn rape.
But I like the spawn rape. That's what made it fun.
You know what? It's funny how
Kidding.
Metro came out, and then it came out in BF4 with more pathways, and now it'll come out in BF1 with even more holes. They've been digging.
Underground, they're tunneling or something.
It wasn't
know.
quite developed all the way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it didn't help with the pathways though. You go up those elevators and you're just gonna get C4'd.
Do you guys think that it is a possibility that they will bring back community map driven stuff?
I think so.
Yeah, I would say so.
It
It's
gave them
it's
good
been
press.
good for them. Yeah, for press and for community involvement, that they interact with the community and they try to design things that they want. It's win-win for them. If you got plans to come out with free maps, you might as well do what the community wants, or
Right.
what
We
you'll
haven't
think they'll
seen
like.
much
So-
urban. We haven't
It was-
seen much urban fighting in the maps yet. We got Amiens, but okay, let's give some more building verticality, like some floors knocked out of the buildings, so you shoot from top floor 3 floors down,
That could be
like some
cool.
close quarter fights in.
I want them to
buildings.
do a close quarters DLC still.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
all
with you
close
on that.
quarters.
Yeah, I think they need
From
to
the
bring it.
promo stuff, maybe the last one might be some close quarter stuff.
It didn't look like it.
Do you think
But
it's
maybe,
more
I
like
don't know.
trenches and a town here, kind of
That-
in a field?
I'm still hoping for that the Caverne du Dragon, or the Drachenhöhle, the underground cave system. That
That
was
would
a
be
real
amazing.
big thing. Like
Can we
that would
get
be
what is that? A
awesome.
stethoscope, right? Like, can we get that and just you listen out to see
Listen.
where they're digging?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I would really like that. I think it could play really interestingly.
It's
But
it's a fascinating story if you
we'd
get a
need like
chance to look it up. But
headlamps or something to see.
And like the map, you blow up certain parts of the map and the floor falls through, and you do a turtle slide down the freaking slope into shooting.
There's a lot
you know?
they could do there.
Yeah.
It seems like the chat does like your idea with the locker, with the 3 levels, maybe, you know, like hard lines diversion. But for the most part, I think everybody did enjoy the DLC community map, and I thought it was really clever and it played well. It was good. It was just a good map, and it was
I
a nice
liked
thing
seeing
that they did.
like their process behind designing maps, like how they went about it, seeing more into the development side of things. I thought that was really cool. How they kind of like opened it up to everybody, let them see them working on the game, some of the meetings they had.
Oh,
I really liked that
they
part.
went
Yeah.
in and they showed like no textures and you can play.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought that was awesome.
Quite
It was
interesting.
like super CTE.
Even
SOCOM
more
too.
so,
Yeah, they
right.
need to bring some SOCOM style.
And yeah, I guess we can close off this segment if you guys don't have anything else to add on map design. I just don't. I mean, I know that we talked about it would be nice for them to design maps specific to game modes. I'm one of the disbelievers that they would do that. I think it'll cost them too much money, and they'll probably just say no. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
maybe.
I guess time will have to see. We'll see what they have in store for us. Obviously, we know we're getting the new DLC, and the way that the DLC structure is sort of what's been going on in Battlefield for ages. But there's always room for improvement, making things better, and that's why we have a discussion here on this podcast. Give them some ideas. Take from the community, you guys watching, your ideas, because we come up with some interesting things when we have these discussions. You know, from the various things we said today to the various things we'll talk about the next time we're live. So if you guys already don't know how this podcast works, is for like the first hour we have a discussion about the topics each of us chose to bring to the conversation, and the last half hour we open up the podcast to you, the viewer who's watching live, to ask us questions. So if you're gonna direct the question to all of us, just put @crew. If you're gonna direct the question to just one of us, just put @whoever it is. All our names are displayed here. Okay, so I'm gonna just open it up to discussions. And before we do that, let me just quickly mention the other thing. If you do have a question, you're listening in a recording and you want it to be answered, you can email us. The email is the Let's Talk Podcast @gmail.com, and we will gladly just read out your name and your message and try to answer as best as we can here at the end of the segment. Yeah, just shoot us an email. Let's go straight for the questions. We have one from Arioli. Crew asked the same question, but no one answered. Where's our 5th DLC? Why do we have 4 DLCs now? Where did the money go? Why is the premium price the same? It was 50 on BF4 with 5 DLCs. It's 50 on BF1 with 4 DLCs. Why are we not shouting for that? The first DLC
Was the free DLC the remastered maps?
yeah,
Gulf
but
of-
I think
Gulf
the
of
first
Oman, Metro, wasn't that
no,
what
no,
that
no.
was?
It was China Rising and it was free if you got this, not the distinguished whatever, the deluxe edition. You didn't have to have premium, that's for sure.
I can't remember. One
I
of
know-
them was free though.
I thought it was Second
with
Assault.
if you pre-ordered, you got Battlefield 4 China Rising.
Okay,
I
remember
Is
so,
that it? Yeah.
So it wasn't
they
part of
basically
premium
gave that
anyway.
away for free.
Yes. So I guess we lost a free DLC somewhere along the lines. However, we only got 4 DLCs. That were
How
paid
much
for.
did we get in Battlefield 3? I don't remember.
4 DLCs.
Was it?
Yeah, because you had Final Stand, Close Quarters.
Uh-oh. Memory test.
It's
You're
been so
being-
long,
You're
man.
being quizzed. I hate BF3. I didn't even have
Ah.
premium for that game.
Dude, I loved it. It was like still my favorite.
I'm with you on it, Izzy. I'm with you, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
You
My
guys
favorite.
stay on that side of the podcast.
Come on, you got to have the blue green overlay.
Okay, you had the Armored Kill, Aftermath,
Oh,
Close
aftermath.
Quarters,
The
and
earthquake.
in game. Is that wasn't that it?
Oh yeah, Endgame was the last one.
In game, not Final Stand. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Final Stand is BF4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in game.
Right.
Yeah, so it's only 4, huh? Or was it 5 DLCs in BF3?
It didn't have Back to Karkans too,
Yeah.
but that one was free, right? I thought
That was remakes.
the free DLC.
See, now that's the question that I mean, if we lost the DLC and it was still part of the price thing, that would be a weird thing, and it's like, why hasn't the community spoken out against it? But I think the community hasn't said anything because I don't think we ever got 5 DLCs. One was always sort of free. Sort
Yeah.
of like what sucks is we did lose a free DLC, but we technically got one. We got Giant Shadow, and it sucks.
I like it.
I love it for domination. It's really fun on
Well,
Dom.
well, Mambo, you like horseplay, right?
I love horsing around. Got my 50 kill streak on that cavalry, baby.
50? What?
I got 50 on the horse.
Guys, the horse is now the little bird.
I miss my little bird. Man.
Gotta have your pistol handy. Don't get on the horse unless you put your pistol on first.
I think we had another question. Wait, let me just fish it out. It was by Dirty Harry 1, says to the crew. So here is my question for the new for this episode. I want servers specifically Conquest 64 with no vehicles, air or land, both, maybe no special classes. Why doesn't there exist such servers yet? No vehicles doesn't mean no horses. Thoughts on it? I would say, you know, that's the segment. From my opinion, that's for the people who rent servers to create that. The fact that they haven't created it, it just means that DICE does not have a good way to keep those servers filled or a good way to advertise unique community-driven servers. Maybe they should do that on the front page. Have a panel. Instead of server browser, it'll be community servers. And then, you know, have these interesting places to play that might gain popularity to the point where you hit the fave button on them. Doesn't seem like a bad idea to me.
And I'll say to Dirty Harry here that at least one of the maps in the upcoming DLC, Fort Devoe, we know is infantry only. So there's no vehicles, there is no horses on that. Like, instead of a behemoth, you know, I believe that you get access to some of the special classes. But with what Echo is saying, yeah, I would say that is a community type of server thing there, where, you know, private servers, if they want that, you know, like, the options are in there, they can turn those things off. At the same point, I also think what you're talking about, that would be a fun thing to have as one of the featured game modes. You know how they had Eye to Eye, and they had what was it? It was Armored something or another.
What do they call those game modes, guys? Drawing a blank. Yeah, I know what
Custom
you're talking
game
about.
modes?
Custom game modes, yeah. They could make something like that.
Custom official game modes. That would be a fun one. I'd play that. I think a lot of people enjoy playing infantry-based stuff, right? Which is why we like games or maps like Locker and Metro, because, you know, we don't have to deal with vehicles in those game modes. So
Or a Grand Bazaar that they can't go into the center of the town, right?
That was such a good map. I mean, that was such an amazing map.
right.
I thought it was all right. Spanksky asks, what is your guys' opinion on not having a spotting scope like the PLD for the scout? As an objective scout, I like knowing what was ahead with being right up on the action. I'm not sure. Don't we have that little thing with the binoculars?
Yeah, we had the periscope thing, like the little...
Yeah, I think we have that, dude. It's in the game.
Yeah, just nobody uses it.
EA
Yeah, because you get
Sports.
wrecked.
It's in the game. I don't know, man. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah, and I would say that it is definitely underused. It's a powerful thing. If you use it, it like lights up whatever you're looking at. It's really fun to take it on a map when the enemy has a behemoth and you just point it at the behemoth and you get like a giant red blimp in the sky and everybody starts shooting at it. They're like, "Oh
Yo,
yeah, I forgot that's what we were supposed to do when a
yo,
behemoth shows
Flag.
up."
I think people will like be playing and they'll be like, "Oh my god, how come he's all red?" Because it's like one of those things that's super not explained. And it'll just be like,
Yep.
why is his outline
I
all
was using
red,
it
guys?
on stream.
Guys, I saw a hack on a new glitch.
Wall
you know?
hacks.
Yeah.
People kept spamming wall
Someone-
hacks.
Someone
They
would be
changed
like,
it. The DLC put in red outlines.
Mm-hmm.
What an
They'll
update.
have no idea what that is.
You could put it in a YouTube video, Izzy. Like the new patch update. Check it
Well,
out.
it was
Just
like
to troll
the
everybody.
tracer darts in Hardline. Nobody used those, and it would like highlight vehicles all red and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Them
think
kinda
I
thing.
use that. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it did.
No,
you
no,
hit it with
I don't think I used it.
Oh, did you not use it?
No.
Yeah,
It was useful because then you could like lock on with RPGs and stuff.
Hmm.
RPGs locked on, right? That was an interesting one.
It would do it in Bad Company too as well.
Yeah.
I like that feature.
Those were fun, and
RPGs
that was
locked on in
definitely
Bad
more.
Company?
Yeah, in
more
Bad Company
teammate.
2, you could hit him with the tracer dart like onto the helicopter, and then the RPGs would lock on and track it.
But was it the other launcher or was it really just the RPG?
I thought it was just like the RPG.
I'm inclined to agree with Izzy. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. I mean, I could
Wasn't
be
it
wrong.
in
It's been a
Battlefield
long time
4
since I
in the
played.
beta where RPGs would lock
Yes.
on to
Oh,
air
that,
vehicles?
it was so horrible.
Wait,
It
what?
was such a
I was like,
bad
what?
idea.
RPGs
What?
lock it
Yeah.
on?
It was only for like a day before they patched it. Because everybody freaked out.
Right. Like, what is this? They're putting RPGs as homing devices?
And they would like track the chopper around buildings and stuff. It was horrible.
No!
Yeah.
Around the building?
Oh yeah, and it was an insta kill on every chopper.
Yeah. It was to scare people from using the choppers because they knew that Little Bird was going to be OP in the freaking game.
Oh, that's crazy. Listen, we have another question from Vinny. Says, "Cool. Should infantry bolt actions be buffed or nerfed? I do fairly decent with them, and I play often with them. The infantry versions."
Buffed. More damage up close, less damage at range, because
Yo.
they're made for CQB,
I
but
would-
they get penalized for shooting people up close. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like the Russian rifle. That thing is so useless when it's trench.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would say, why don't you, Vinny, try the carbine? I ever since Mambo said it, man, it's actually dope.
I'm in love with them. I can drop 50 almost every Conquest game using one. It's not fair.
It's really good.
They're OP, dude, with a red dot.
Yep. Pretty darn good. Flack, what's up? You plead a fifth on that one?
The
You did-
LA
Izzy
wants to
Metro.
Izzy wants to
Dude.
drop 80 or 90 in one Conquest match because the bolt action.
I think they're fine the way they are. I'm at the point like I've gotten used to the whole sweet spot system with it that it doesn't bother me.
I would like to see like 95, not 100. That just seems so bad.
You just want those Calibri kills. You want to take that last 5% away there.
Dude, at that point, if the Calibri can even hit from that distance, like a 200 sweet spot, yeah, I don't know. It's
Yo,
probably
Flack,
deal
what's
one
the-
damage.
What's the caliber on the Calibri? Do you even know? What was the caliber on that? Is it less than a 22?
Oh,
It's
definitely less
tiny.
than a 22.
It's
Really?
tiny.
Oh yeah.
Was that
I-
gun also the same gun was in that movie by Quentin Tarantino with what's his name, where they were at the card table with the Germans and they had to pull a gun underneath the table?
I don't know.
It was a
I don't
little
know.
like sock pistol that he pulled out his sock or whatever.
Yeah, if he pulled
I
out
mean,
the
there's
Calibri,
lots of little holdout guns like that though.
Yeah,
And the
Probably.
Calibri is not the only
the
one.
Wild West had them. Yeah.
Calibri could have been one of the first.
No, they used a
No,
lot of
no.
those little Derringer pistols.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was just like the only one used in warfare because no one wants a tiny ass gun. It's like why? Could have a 1911 or something.
As Dice trolling us.
I mean, it's a troll weapon. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
They didn't expect people to, legitimately
Rob
use
got
it as a
Inglorious
weapon.
Bastards. That's right. That was the name of the movie. Okay, next comment.
I'm looking through to see if we got another question. I mean, Ariel kind of expanded on his take on the whole thing. He just says that there are a lot of things that bug him out about the whole DLC situation. That it is less maps or less content that we're getting for the same amount of money. I don't really know where the whole aspect comes in, and we don't know. We don't create these games. I think that if they are shortchanging the community would rise up and say something. I don't feel.
Have you been on the forums lately? People aren't super psyched. Not
Really?
a happy place. Not a happy place.
That's a very dark place, the Battlefield forum. I've been there once, and I was like, what? I don't know. But from the community that I see that play with me on my channel, and maybe you guys could speak about your channels, people don't seem to be outraged. There's a huge talk against the whole casualness aspect. There's a lot of people who dislike that, who were core players that played with BA4 with me and stuff like that. But I don't really see people talking about that. That's why I'm, I guess, a little bit surprised.
I think people. What's a good way to put this? I think people are tired of paying for maps in general. That's the talk that I see. I don't hear so much, oh, we only got 4 DLC packs instead of 5. What I hear is like, why are the maps not free? Like it keeps splitting up the community. Mass Effect Andromeda, they announced all the multiplayer DLC maps are going to be free. Titanfall 2's maps are free.
That's good news.
Are you going to get Mass Effect, Flak?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's getting.
I'm getting it, dude. It looks awesome.
Super
I'm
Deluxe
sure.
Edition or whatever.
Echo, you should get it. It looks really good.
I don't know. I don't play Mass Effect games. I'm a little intimidated. You ever
It's
look
okay.
at something and it's just
Go
so
watch
big
like
and you're just like,
a
I don't know.
story breakdown on YouTube for like 30 minutes. Get caught up on the story. Worth it. It's so good.
I have to think about that one. But I guess I see what you're saying with the whole, the maps should be free thing. The only concern is the one I brought up last time is if we do maps should be free, are we gonna get less maps? We're gonna get 1 operation instead of 2? I don't know.
But if they did free, they would have to offset it with something else, whether selling cosmetic items or weapons.
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
that's what we're saying. We're saying that they would find different revenues to make
If they
money.
did that, then we shouldn't get less content. It should be the same because in theory it would balance out, right? They would make just as much off the cosmetic stuff as they would DLC.
Right.
They're just guessing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just don't know.
Microtransactions though typically do better sales-wise than DLCs do. I mean, look at Call of Duty and Counter-Strike. Look how much money they've generated
but they have
off supply drops.
such large player bases.
Battlefield has a pretty big player base though.
I think the percentage of people who actually purchase microtransactions is a decently low percentage. But if your player base is that big, that small percentage can make you a lot of money.
But look at mobile games.
Counter-Strike
Like
is
the majority
Holy cow,
of
the
the
mobile
people who-
games is ridiculous.
Yeah, but mobile games.
because
the
once
majority of
again,
people-
player base for like a Bejeweled is
No. It's not that though. It's like only 1%. They make like 90% of their money from 1% of the player base.
right. But their player base is, if their player base is 100 million people, 1%, that's a lot of people. But if your player base is Battlefield, where it's not that big, now you're talking, 1%. I don't know. I'm just out there to kind of do the whole devil's advocate thing where I understand why they do DLCs the way they do, but I do like that they're experimenting with free DLC with Andromeda and Titanfall, because maybe in the future of Battlefield they may figure out a
Well,
better
your
way to
player
do it.
base grows when you don't split the community. So
That
That's
is
very
true.
true.
So
Yeah.
it's like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's just like, which way do you pull? And then it's either or. You take this plunge of, I don't know what the future will hold. And when you think about big companies and you think about these things, uncertainty is not the way you want to make a jump.
Well, they were willing to make the jump with Battlefield 1 in the first place. I mean, this game was a massive risk for them. They had no idea if it was going to be successful. I mean, DICE had to fight to get approval to make the game in the first place. So they took the risk. So it's obvious that they're willing to take risks. At least somewhat of a risk.
That is a risk, you're right.
Yeah.
Do we have a question in the chat? Guys, this is your opportunity. Let's do this. If you have a question, just put at crew or one of our names. I don't know if I missed one because we were part of it, but I know I see the discussions here about what we're talking about.
I see De Capo says more camos for customization. That they could easily do that for Battlefield 1. Yeah. More camos.
Recently, I opened up a lot of battle packs using my scraps.
Oh yeah.
It was so bad.
I'm gonna
Why do
save
you
up
feel bad?
100.
Oh man, from all of the things, I got like probably 15 or something superior battle packs just looking for one camel, and I got everything but that camel.
That's always how it goes, though. The one thing you want. Watch, after you get it, you'll get it like 6 more times in a row.
Right.
No.
Like I got the sawtooth, the last piece to the sawtooth knife when I wasn't expecting it. Then after that, I got like 10 last pieces of the sawtooth knife. Wait a minute, where was that for the last 2 months?
I don't know, man. It just, I don't know. I was just like, well, I don't know how this is going on. Do tanks need to be nerfed at crew by AA
Yes.
bro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nerf them. Dice, drop the nerf hammer. Make them slower, make them do less damage, make them easier to kill.
Yeah.
Get rid of
that's
quick
easy.
repair.
Get rid of quick repair. Give them that whole bayonet charge coined right here. That's a good idea. Come on.
I don't
How
think they
about a
had
bayonet,
turbo
another
boost
tank?
in World
Yeah,
War
like a
One.
big spike instead of a cannon turret.
like a
it's a
battering
spike.
ram, but it already kills people in one hit. You just
Like
kind of roll
like
into
a
it.
No, but
Harpoon?
tanks.
Want a
No,
harpoon?
tank versus tank, like a
What
charge
if
of
you
another
could like
tank. For the freak-
harpoon the horse and like drag it?
Ah.
Peter's
Yeah.
coming for you.
No,
Izzy.
because that would be me getting drug across a freaking desert in Sinai on a horse.
No, but I think the whole, the tanks do need to be toned down a bit. We joke, but we've discussed once. Even Flak was saying that historically they were very slow.
They
And
were
the
slow.
The representation of in Battlefield is a little bit faster. I think for the sake of gameplay, they didn't want people to be bored. But I think if they spawn the tanks closer to the action and make them move slower, it wouldn't be so bad. You're still in like a thing that doesn't massive damage.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, slower would make you play a little more tactical as a tank driver.
Yeah, or I don't know. On one end, when I think about this after you listen to yourself talk, I'm thinking, yeah, there's already enough hilltop tank campers.
Those words should
armored
never be
truck,
combined.
The armored truck that just camps in the back of their base. I can't stand that.
Yeah, people do these
Well,
things.
You should be able to stick C4 or TNT to stuff, so you can Jeep stuff. You should be able to stick the TNT to your Jeep and just ram it into the tank, jump out and blow it up.
Yeah, maybe that's why tanks reign supreme, because you cannot do Jeep stuff anymore.
You can't like throw TNT onto it. They just drive away, and you're like, oh well,
Yeah.
crap! There goes the tank.
Plus, the TNT doesn't go far enough. I did mention I wanted to
Yeah.
go farther. Should be
Your
able
guy
to
has
throw
like
that sucker.
spaghetti arms. He's like,
The horse
Now
needs
drops it.
stronger damage on their anti-tank grenades because I've killed several tanks on the horse, but you gotta run around them like 10
Yeah.
times, right? Make
Yo,
it strong.
what's up with that? Does the horse guy just get grenades
Yeah.
without putting anything over some
they
time?
respawn, I think.
Yeah, you get one like every minute or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never understood why he uses the same rifle, shoots off 4 bullets, then jumps off, and his rifle is reloaded. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
These details.
The magic bullets.
You
they
know what
show
I'm
up in the
talking
gun.
about, right, Mambo? Because on the horse, the ammo, how you shooting and using it, is saved to the horse. And when you're running gunning, your gun is different.
Yep. So you
It's
can,
a
like,
lever
jump-
action, right?
It's the same gun, yet it's not. I
So
don't
the gun
get
can
it.
be empty. When you jump on the horse, it's full again, and you can
Yes.
keep shooting. Yeah. It's like
I
a
don't
viable
know.
tactic.
Like putting on your Superman suit, man. Jump on a
I-
horse. I'm Superman now.
It's one of those weird conundrums.
Yeah.
It's dice for you. Dice match.
We have a question from Spanksky again, I think. Crew, do you think that they need to include more ways to take out the planes? I have never been killed by planes, jets in a battlefield until now.
Definitely. I think, well, what they need to do is make the AT guns a one-hit kill versus the planes. Because you can nail the plane with the AT gun and it only does like 20 damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
You're like,
mean
well,
the
yeah,
that's
personal
annoying.
assault one?
Yeah, like the AT gun, the anti-tank rifle. If you hit
Yeah.
a plane with that, it should be an insta-kill. That's how they could combat the planes. Because they come in so low
It takes
and
a lot of
slow.
skill.
And if you're actually able to hit it with the AT gun, like an RPG in Battlefield, if you hit the chopper or the jet, it was a one-hit kill. You were guaranteed to take it out of the sky because you were, accurate. It takes a good amount of skill.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And now it's just like hit marker.
Whose decision was this? Like, weird. That is very
It's
weird.
It's that whole rock, paper, scissor aspect that Battlefield goes through, Like air
Well, that's if
superiority.
you're playing with like dull scissors.
Air superiority wins the wars, right, Flak? Whoever has the air superiority wins the war. So
Yeah, and that's definitely true. I've been playing Rupture on the CTE, and it's like, oh, the airplanes on that map are terrible.
uh-oh.
It's literally
You
like,
just get raped.
So
Yeah,
if
no
you
other
think
word
that
for it.
airplanes have been a problem, wait until the next maps come out on Tuesday. Uh-oh.
It might just
I'm
be the one.
hoping that they added more AA to that map or something, because there's like one per side of the river, and if the smart fighter pilots blow it up, they can just like there's nothing you can do. I mean, like theoretically, yeah, you could spawn in a
Yeah, it's
AA
supposed
truck,
to spawn
but
AA trucks.
you can't. Everybody else is too busy trying to use the new tank, or has already spawned in the tank or whatever.
gotten
Does
pretty
the
good
new
in the
tank
air
have
lately.
a AA variation?
you know, it's got a gas variation, which we could talk for days about that, but
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give them reason. I'll give them reason to nerf it. I'll get in the new maps in the air.
Were there any ways that they did in World War One that maybe they haven't done yet? Maybe like sort of a gadget or a special rifle that was used to take down planes? I have no idea. Do you guys?
I mean, really, they had, aside from the pom-pom type guns, they had, larger artillery variations of things that were designed to do that. And I think that the Germans used something they called a flaming onion, but they really don't know very much about it, except that it was just a really crazy device. So it's something I'll read more about that later at some point, but I haven't. I haven't
Just the
gotten to
name
the bottom
alone.
of it. Yeah, just
The
the
flaming onion.
flaming onion.
I'm
like
interested
we're at
now.
Outback Steakhouse.
It sounds like a crazy hot wing.
All right, we got one more question, and probably we're gonna do this. This is probably gonna be the last question for the podcast, guys. Robbins Selkirk asks the crew, "Do you think that server restrictions would be better for the player base? No vehicles, no certain weapons, like on BF4, to have no Stingers, Igla, or no RPGs on locker."
We
What?
talked about that a little bit a while ago about custom servers.
I like custom servers. I think it's a good idea. I mean, you don't have to play on them if you don't want to. There's always official servers. No one's forcing you to play on custom servers. So they're absolutely a good thing for people who
Yeah.
want to play with custom rules.
I think if people keep custom servers that are within like 3 changes, then it would still stay official, maybe. I don't know. Something that would keep them ability to fill them up, because
That's the issue. I think
Yeah.
what they need to do, I don't think they should be official, because the last thing you want to do is have that kid who buys Battlefield first time, pops it in his disc tray, and then presses go, and all of a sudden he's in a server that says no shotguns, no pistols, no this.
Well-
He's like confused,
What I think they should do is the problem with custom servers on console is you won't get quick matched into them. So I think it needs to quick match you into them, but if it's going to put you into one before you join, it should pop up a message saying, "You're about to join a custom server. These are the rules. Do you still want to join?" And let people check it out. I think
No,
that would be a way to
that's-
solve it.
It's not a bad idea.
Because
I still
Everyone quick matches.
What I would like to see is next to quick match or something, or where the server browser is, a new tab said community servers. And if you really want to explore people and their own custom servers, go ahead and explore. You know what I mean? And then they can spotlight different community members. I don't know. I just don't know how, quick matching into a server, even though I like that idea with the posted rules, I don't know how that bodes well with. We already have problems with segmenting player bases, and now we
It
have.
it did okay in Battlefield 3. I mean, I
Did
didn't
they
really
do
have
that?
issues with it.
Did,
Yeah.
Was that a feature?
It didn't. It would just you would just get quick matched into custom servers, and it wasn't a huge deal.
I
I'd
don't
never had
know.
a problem with it. I played the heck out
Yeah,
of that
but
game.
were the custom servers? Did they have restrictions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
does it restrictions like in Battlefield 4? Like, hey guys, it's
Yeah,
shotgun only. Hey man, I see you over there. Stop it.
Well, it was like that on console, but on PC they could have restrictions.
Yeah, and that didn't bode too well. Some people were very upset about that.
I didn't mind it. It's not hard to read, and if you don't like it, you can always leave.
You heard it right there. You go on and get get
mean-
out. Learn to read. I don't know. I don't really know a solution to that, but it's an interesting thing to dive in and talk about. Anybody final thoughts?
Now, next time we're going to be talking about a lot of new stuff in DLC.
Yep.
Right, the
Two-
DLC
2
will
weeks from
drop
now.
a few days from this recording. If you're watching the recording on iTunes or on YouTube, then the DLC is probably out. You might as well email us to let us know what you think of the DLC. Once again, the email is the Let's Talk Podcast at gmail.com, and that would be awesome to hear some thoughts from you guys watching the recording. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I know Izzy and Echo and myself here, we're going to be pretty active on YouTube over the coming days. So keep an eye on our channels.
For real.
I'm sure Mambo is too, but
Yeah, so
The sub box spam is about to be real. Just
Yep.
inbounds.
any closing
Prepare
thoughts?
yourself.
Any other closing thoughts, guys, aside from the new DLC coming out?
That's it.
All right, so there you guys
Stay
have it.
positive.
This was episode 5 of the Let's Talk Battlefield podcast. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. I want to say the most important thing is that we sit down and we have this discussion, because I, for one, and I can speak for my friends here, we love the game. We've been playing the game for years, and so many people in the chat I recognize been playing with me for years. And then some of you guys who I've seen the comments on YouTube or I've seen the comments on iTunes and stuff like that. If we like this game as much as we do, and if we have this discussion, it's gonna make the game better, because there's so many ideas that we come up with on the fly from you guys from here, and just thinking about that can improve the gameplay. Now sometimes we may disagree on things, it's natural, but I think it's still important to have this discussion. So thank you so much for watching, fellas. Thank you for being here with me. Quick sign off so they know where to find us. I'm Echo Limits, your host. You can find me at Echo Limits if you search me on YouTube, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Echo Limits. Izzy?
As always, guys, it's been a pleasure. You can find me on youtube.com/IzzyGoneCrazy.
Mambo?
Mambo B, Memories, Laughs, and More on Twitch TV.
Yeah. And then Flakfire over on YouTube, and for K9 Pew Pew, because that's apparently a thing. All right. Yeah, but YouTube, and I know a lot of us are going to be busy here tomorrow and the coming days, so keep an eye out.
Awesome. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thumbs up from me. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time.
All right.